Hello, Earle Pughe here. Today I'm going to talk about adding double stops to your playing. We're going to get these double stops from the chords and the scales. So we have a G chord on all 6 strings. We could have a G chord on 3 strings. Just be all open strings. D, G, B. We have a C chord. We could play 5 strings, or we could play strings 4, 3, 2. We'd still have a complete chord. C, E, G, and we have an F chord. We could play all 6 strings on the F chord, or we could play strings 4, 3, 2. So we're going to take these 3 chords and play all 3 inversions on all of them. So we've got a G, all open strings. Strings 4, 3, 2, open. We've got one at frets 3, 4, 5, and we've got one at frets 7, 8, 9, and then it would repeat. We've got that same inversion that we had at the open at fret 12. On the C chord, we would have a C chord at frets open 1, 2, straight across at fret 5, frets 8, 9, 10, and we'd be up at frets 12, 13, 14 with the last one, and we could have a D chord, frets 2, 3, 4, straight across at fret 7, 10, 11, 12, and the last one is a repeat of the first one. We're up at 14, 15, 16. So we could take just the notes on strings 2 and 3 from these chords. So we'd have on the G chord. Now, back in the day, country was called country western, and western was western swing, and they liked a lot of 6 chords. So we could add a 6th to those G. So if the bass player played a G and we played what looks like an E minor, we'd get a G6. We could do the same thing here. So if we play only strings 2 and 3, it's we can add, we can use the 6 instead of the 5 on the shape on frets 3 and 4. So now we'll have frets 4 and 5, and we had a piece up here at frets 7 and 8, and we could use frets 8 and 9. So we're replacing the 5 with the 6 just to get a little bit of a color tone in there. If we played a scale on a G scale on string 3 only, we could harmonize that with the 3rd above it. We could do this on the C chord. So now we're on the 4 chord. Now we're in the key of G, but we're on a C chord. So we're going to play the F natural instead of the F sharp, because I'm sort of assuming that the G went to a G7 before it went to the C, and the G7 chord would have an F natural. So, we're not going to play exactly the same shapes. We're not going to play, because we're assuming that we had a G7, so we've introduced the F natural. So we've got that F natural on string 2. Now we've got the F natural on string 3. Now, when we play that harmonized scale on the D, we are going to use the F sharp. But we are not going to use the C sharp. So we're not just playing a D scale from D to D. We are playing a G scale from D to D. So right there is a C natural, and right there is a C natural. So we're kind of implying a D7 chord there. If we take the same chord progression that we've been using on the other videos in this series on country guitar, we could start with a little walk into a G chord. So, little chromaticism. Instead of just do, re, mi, we can get little blue notes here. We've got a flat 3 and a flat 5. So don't be afraid to use the occasional blue note in country. So I played a lot of long notes in this example. It's important to be able to play a lot of hot chicken picking licks in country, but every once in a while you should play some long notes just for some contrast. It will make the chicken picking seem flashier. So don't be afraid of long notes. So we walk from the open G, from this G up to this G. Then 2 pieces of a C. Now we went back to a G. I kind of hesitated on getting back to the G, played 1 beat on the C, and then went to the G. Now we've got that 6. We're going to do it as a hammer-on. So I'm thinking of the G chord that's at frets 7, 8, 9. I'm going to hammer. I'm only playing strings 2 and 3. So just to get some interesting articulation, do a hammer. Now we've got that G chord straight across, C right here, and we'll do that same hammer. And now we're walking down to the open G. Now we're going straight up the inversions. So right there we've got an F natural and an A note. If you think of the Disco 9, there are 2 notes out of that chord. So we've got an F and an A. So we're playing the upper structure of a G9 chord. It's easier to just think of it as we're just walking down. Then we're to the C. Then the G. Now we're on a D chord, but instead of using notes from the straight D, we're going to take notes from the D7. So if you think of the D7, we can use these 2 notes out of that. A little more chromatic motion there. Go through those blue notes again, and we'll get back to the G chord, and then we've got the G run. When I'm playing in this style on a country tune, I've got the reverb turned up a little bit higher. I've got both pickups on. I don't want it to be too bright. I'm just trying to get a different texture out of the guitar here. So thank you for tuning into this video on double stops. Please give it a like. Please consider subscribing. Have a good week, and I hope to see you next week with another example. Thank you very much.